following webcast is the exclusive property of LVH1 and the Union North United School Corporation. Any duplication or retransmission of this webcast without the express written consent of LVH1 and the Union North United School Corporation is prohibited. Live from Dale Cox Gymnasium, it's time for the 51st Annual Bi-County Women's Junior Varsity Tournament on LVH1, live around the world. A very pleasant good evening to all of our listeners on LVH1, alongside our camera person, Emily Wallace, my color man, Dennis Feitz. I'm Matthew Florian, so pleased you could join us for Game 5 in the Women's Junior Varsity Bi-County Tournament here from Dale Cox Gymnasium. It's nearly tip-off time. We're bringing you the sights and sounds from Dale Cox Gymnasium. First on deck for us tonight, our national anthem.
Thank you.
We're all set for the opening tip-off. Tonight's game features the Bremen Lady Lions of Bremen High School and the Lady Bobcats of Oregon Davis. For tonight's junior varsity contest, the guest team on the scoreboard will be first for the opening lineup. Here's PA announcer Steve Cox.
Starting second guard, 5'6" freshman, number 31, Bianca Radke. Starting one forward, a 5'5" freshman, number 25, Victoria Anderson. Starting second forward, a 6-foot sophomore, number 51, Lena Tetzlaw. Starting the third forward, a 5'7" sophomore, number 53, Samantha Young. Both the game's Bobcats are coached by Wes Radke. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team on the scoreboard, the Bremen Lions. Joining one guard, a 5'7" freshman, number 10, Kaylin Shipley. Starting a second guard, a 5'2" sophomore, number 12, Emma Schmidt. Starting a third guard, a 5'2" freshman, number 23, Andrea Brook. Starting a fourth guard, a 5'4" sophomore, number 25, Dixlin Howard. Starting forward, 5'6" junior, number 22, Andrea Garcia. Bremen Lions are coached by Alex Robinson.
Your starting lineups for both teams. This is Game 5 of the women's semifinal junior varsity bracket. On the bracket, it is Oregon Davis visiting the Bremen Lady Lions. We're all set for game time here on LVH1, so please, you could join us. We're going to bring Dennis Feitz, my color man, into the broadcast tonight. It's going to be an interesting game. The road map here to this game as we're underway at Dale Cox Gymnasium.
Yes, it should. Caitlin Shively and Lena Telzoff took the tip. Oregon Davis won it, but had a turnover underneath.
Oregon Davis The only word to describe the first game in their tournament for the junior varsity side is dominant. A dominant performance over Culver. They won 79-10 in their last game on Monday evening. LaVille and Bremen played Monday evening here at Dale Cox Gymnasium, where Bremen beat the Lady Lancers 21-15. That's the roadmap getting to this Game 5, the semifinal game in the girls' tournament junior varsity bracket.
Should be a very close game for the first half anyway, as Emma Schmidt misses a close layup there. Oregon Davis seems to be pushing the tempo at the current moment, looking to get the open shots and passes. Not doing so on their first possession, but taking more time on this possession. And number 51, Telzoff, makes her first basket, the first basket of the game, 2-0 Oregon Davis. And Samantha Young took a spill there. Turnover by Bremen.
Back the other way comes Oregon Davis. The Lady Bobcats coached by Wes Radke. A small roster, literally and figuratively. The tallest lady on the roster is 6'0" sophomore Lena Tetzloff, And there are only 6 names on the roster. There is only one on the bench at the moment as a backup for Oregon Davis, but they have been absolutely dominant in their season so far. Will be a very interesting game to see how both teams stack up. Rebound collected by Oregon Davis underneath. Bianca Radke out of bounds. Last touched by Bremen.
Should be a very fun game for both teams. Oregon Davis does have a full varsity roster, though, for the Bi-County tournament.
Junior varsity.
No, I checked the varsity roster for them. Their whole varsity roster, they have the maximum number of players.
I see.
So I don't know why it isn't as spread out, but they are going to be aggressive for both teams, as shown as Bremen turned over the ball there.
The Lady Lions of Bremen High School are coached by Alex Robinson. We had a couple of chances to speak to him on Monday evening. His biggest concern with this tournament is just getting used to his first experience really working a Bi-County. This is his first year coaching at Bremen High School. He's been doing a fantastic job so far. 3-point attempt coming and good. Bianca Radke has the Oregon Davis up big. 4 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first quarter. They already are on a 7-0 tear over Bremen.
And playing excellent defense as well. Bremen just got trapped in the corner using their first timeout very early in the game. 4 minutes remaining.
Exceptional defense for Oregon Davis. Coach Wes Radke has to be very pleased with how his team is performing early in this contest.
Yes, he does. Very good play by Oregon Davis. Bremen's still trying to find their first points. Emma Schmidt did miss an easier layup early in the first quarter. But very small attendance for both sides, though. I was expecting more people. What about you?
Early in the tournament, this is still kind of settling in. Once Friday and Saturday hit, we will be very busy here at Dale Cox Gymnasium. Both teams, though, can already tell a dedicated, if not numerous, but a very dedicated following on both sides. The Bremen crowd getting fired up as they do when their team was introduced. The Oregon Davis crowd doing the same on the near side. Oregon Davis is the visiting team on the bracket. Fouled on the way up. That'll be number 21, Emma Hussman for Oregon Davis. She will collect her first. Teams first. Both teams have one foul early in this game. 3:47 left in the first quarter. Game stands at a score stands 7-0.
One minor correction, Bremen does not have a foul yet.
Emma Schmidt at the line for Bremen, hoping to put her team on the board. First shot off the mark. Second shot coming. And it falls. The first point for Bremen. comes off the hands of Emma Schmidt at the free throw line. Underneath, deep two coming off the mark. Rebound collected by Kaylin Shipley. Driving up court. Shipley had fantastic game up underneath. Easy layup. Left undefended was Emma Schmidt. Wide open in the paint. Up and fouled.
A 3-0 run for Bremen there. Really halted the momentum for Oregon Davis.
Victoria Anderson to the line for OD to shoot a pair. Shooting foul called on number 12, Emma Schmidt for Bremen.
Victoria Anderson to the line for Oregon Davis. Shooting 1.
She missed them both.
Score stands still 3-7 in favor of Oregon Davis. OD wanted a missed travel call up. Can't get the layup to fall, but does get her rebound. Kaylin Shipley underneath. Rebound eventually collected by Victoria Anderson, handled up court. Excellent ball movement by Bianca Radke.
Yes, it is.
Hussman over to Radke, looking for a three-point shot, and gets it. Banks it in. The lead is now back to 7 for Oregon Davis. 10-3 is the score, 2:38 and counting.
That is Radke's second three-point make of the night, having 6 points at this moment. Any impressions very early on in this game, Mr. Florian?
I think that Oregon Davis hasn't quite opened up the taps on their energy. They've got a very good team. They almost seem as though they're holding back a little bit, sizing Bremen up. They are up 7 points early in the first quarter, but I feel as though there's a lot more athleticism yet to be seen from both teams. We'll see how they respond. Mishandled pass, nearly lost, but Kaylin Shipley finishes it up. Against the glass, up and in, climbing the ladder, cuts the lead back to 5. The score is 10-5. 2 minutes left. OD with the lead. Shipley with the steal. Coming the other way. Defended by OD. Can't get there in time. Emma Hussman underneath can only watch Shipley's basket up and in. The lead is cut to 3.
Bremen on a 4-0 run and is going to have 2 subs come in at some point soon. I think that's how they're going to try to beat Oregon Davis's, with fresh bodies. Hussman made her first basket of the night, bringing the lead back up to 5 for Oregon Davis as Emma Schmidt is dribbling the ball up the court for Bremen. Almost getting trapped, passing it over to Garcia. Doing a very good job is Oregon Davis's defense, trying to double team the Bremen line with the ball, leaving a player underneath open, and a missed shot goes Oregon Davis's way.
Oregon Davis settling things in. Bianca Radke up. Fadeaway 2-point jumper, nothing but net. Absolutely dangerous if left even remotely unguarded. OD trying to block out, and now has a chance for a bit of a breakaway. Up and in. Missed foul. There it is. Lena Tetzloff called for a shooting foul. That'll be her second. First, pardon me. Andrea Brook at the line for Bremen, shooting 2. A little bit too much power on the first shot. Substitution in for Bremen. Now into the game for the Lady Lions, Lexi Miller, number 13, and number 24, Ashley Jeffers. That will send Emma Schmidt and Andrea Brook to the bench for a rest. Coach Alex Robinson hopes to use fresh bodies, as you said. I think that's a very good strategy. Slapped away almost by Kaylin Shipley. She was a little bit everywhere during the game on Monday. Foul that time committed. That'll be number 22, Andrea Garcia, called for around the back. Offensive foul. Possession remains with OD.
Garcia was in some foul trouble in the LaVille game. It's something to watch. She seems like she might be a player for Bremen in foul trouble later on. And Radke scores her 10th point of the game right there with that 2-point basket.
Foul coming again. The score is 17-8 in favor of OD. 20 seconds left, or 27, pardon me, 27 seconds left. Number 22, Andrea Garcia picks up her first.
Second.
Team's third. High arcing shot from Bianca Radke. Lead is back to 10 for OD. Perfect shots.
Yes. Looking at Oregon Davis's roster for their JV, they have 4 freshmen and 2 sophomores.
Mishandled pass nearly goes out of bounds. Lexi Miller blocking out. Very tremendous effort by Bianca Radke for OD. Check that. That's Lena Tetzloff going the other way. Pass off to Victoria Anderson, who sinks. 2-point shot. This is what I mean, I think. 1 second left. Heave deep down court, does not find anyone. That'll be your score after the first quarter, 21-8 in favor of Oregon Davis. And I think that's one of the things that we were talking about after the first quarter.
Yes.
Just about every single shot in the last 2 minutes was perfect. It was straight on. It was nothing but net. So that's the athleticism I think that we're going to see more and more of as this game progresses.
Yes, indeed. Oregon Davis didn't even use their sub in that whole first quarter, showing their athleticism. Some very big points for both teams. The scoring has seemed to be very spread through. Oregon Davis having 4 of their 5 starters scoring. Emma Hussman has 2. Victoria Anderson has 2. Lena Teslov has 4. And Bianca Radke being the leading scorer for the game. She has 12 points. Very on fire shooting tonight. Back over to Mr. Florian.
I need the stat sheet, sir. Beginning of the second quarter. But tip of the hat also to Garrett Weil, who is our statistician for tonight's games.
Doing a great job. I did get a look very fast before the stat sheet was taken away for the Bremen scoring. Andrea Brook has 1, Emma Schmidt has 3, and Kaylin Shipley is leading for Bremen, having 4 points. That adds up to their 8 as we start the second quarter.
Inbound collected by Ashley Jeffers. There's only 6 players on the OD roster, but they have been absolutely dominant so far. Bremen hoping to make up for that by fresh bodies and rapid passes. Shot coming from Shipley off the mark. Rebound off the feet, off the hands, and off the foot of Andrea Garcia for Bremen. Oregon Davis possession. We're at the beginning of the second quarter. The score stands at 21-8 in favor of Oregon Davis. The Lady Bobcats so far doing a very good job shutting down Bremen High School, the Lady Lions scoring chances. This is game 5 of the 51st annual TCU Bi-County Women's Junior Varsity Tournament. Airball that time for Oregon Davis. Nearly slapped away. Yana Ranke over to Lena Tetzloff. Fouled as she went up. Would have been off the mark anyway, but a foul committed. So Tetzloff will go to the line. That will be Bremen foul on Andrea Garcia. That will be her 3rd. Garcia also had a very tremendous game on Monday for the Lady Lions, so that is not a foul that Coach Alex Robinson wants her to collect. She will go to the bench as Coach Robinson subs in Dixlin Howard, number 25, in for the Lady Lions.
In the first quarter, both teams committed only 4 turnovers, being very minor in the game, as she made her second free throw attempt. Bremen dribbling the ball up court, trying to make some more fast passes and get more penetration. Stolen, though. Big turnover there. Tetzloff Radke doing a great job there getting fouled. Could not tell exactly who that foul was on, and they are getting the finger pointed at him right now, and that will be Brooks' first foul. Very fast-paced game at this moment for both teams.
Radke's first shot rattles around and falls.
3 for 3 from the free throw line so far tonight is Radke, shooting very well.
Make it 4 for 4. The lead is now into double digits. Oregon Davis with 5:54 left in the second quarter leads 25 to 28. Make it 25 to 10 off the hand of Andrea Brook. First layup, first points of the second quarter for Bremen.
Yes, it is. It is also a very fast-paced game for OD, and jump ball will be called. With OD only having the one sub, I'm amazed they are pushing the tempo this fast and being this controlled with it. I wonder if this will affect them later on in the game. Inbounding is Radke. Underneath and fouled is Teslov. Bremen getting into some foul trouble now, committing their 6th foul with 5:32 remaining in the second quarter.
At the line, Lena Tetzloff.
And
2-point attempt coming.
Lexi Miller's first foul picked up right there.
Up and in. Tetzloff, phenomenal from the free throw line so far.
2 for 3 on the night.
Second shot coming. Just off the mark. She's either straight in or she's a little bit too much power.
Yes.
Missed bump that time. Plant. Andrea Brook thought about a 3-point shot. Tried a deep pass in and underneath to Lexi Miller. Bremen can't find the pass, can't bring it down. OD ball. So back the other way comes Lena Tetzloff, she's been there just about every single play. She's been all over the court for OD.
Her and Radke are the two leading scorers of the game, being very dominant on the court.
Bianca Radke will take it on the far sideline, trying to inbound it for OD. Underneath, Tetzloff up and in, fouled on the way up. 2-point attempt coming up, and that is the 7th team foul on Bremen. Kaylin Shipley will pick up her first. Tetzloff at the line. 2-point possibility coming up. First shot rattles off the mark. 5:07 left in the first half. Game 5, the semifinals of the 51st annual TCU Bi-County Women's Junior Varsity Tournament. First in our 2-game doubleheader tonight. We hope you will join us and stay tuned for the second game tonight, as that'll be Bremen collecting the foul. Goes against number 25, Victoria Anderson for Oregon Davis. Second game tonight in our junior varsity doubleheader is game 5 of the men's junior varsity tournament, also against Oregon Davis and Bremen. Misplayed pass collected by Oregon Davis, up and in, and a rattling around, can't get it to fall. Tetzloff just off the mark. Rebound fought for very well. That's number 25, Victoria Anderson, with the recovery inbounds. Eventually lost out of bounds once again. That'll be a timeout on the floor. Coach Alex Robinson wants to talk things over with his Lady Lions team. They trail the Lady Bobcats 10 to 27, 5:42 left in the first half of this game. Oregon Davis in black and red, Bremen in white and green.
Only 8 points have been scored in this second quarter to this point. Oregon Davis has 6 of them, and Bremen has a layup. So very early in the second quarter, everything seems to be going still Oregon Davis's way. Turnovers are starting to become a little bit of a big factor. Bremen has 9 of them now, and Oregon Davis is still being very controlled, only having 6. And Oregon Davis has 3 players, each with only 1 foul, so they are playing very controlled at this moment, knowing that with only 1 sub, if somebody fouls out, nobody else is going to get rest other than at timeouts and at the end of quarters. So do you have any comments for us in a moment?
Overall, a very athletic, hard-fought game so far. Both teams showing all sorts of energy, all sorts of passion. Bremen maybe outplayed athletically by Oregon Davis, but they have been subbing in, and every single person, every single player off the bench for the Lady Lions has shown energy. Andrea Brook with energy there with the steal. Underneath also, Kaylin Shipley underneath. Can't get it to fall all the way around. Fouled on her way up. She will go to the line for a 2-point possibility.
Tetzloff's second foul there.
In and out.
Free throw shooting on both ends has been a struggle for most players other than Bianca Radke.
Bianca Radke has been doing, I think she's now 4 for 4 from the line. Not someone that Bremen will want to send to the free throw line again. At the free throw line, shooting a layup, Lena Tetzloff can't get it to fall. Out of bounds, last touched by Bremen.
That is not her spot to shoot from. She's been very pure from everywhere else, but that free throw line has gave her troubles tonight.
Inbound collected by Tetzloff. She will drive again, up and in. 19-point lead that the Lady Bobcats have built up. 4 minutes left.
This team is looking very dominant. Bremen's slowing the pace down now, but getting trapped. Oregon Davis is doing an excellent job of double teaming right now. Anybody who has the ball and holds it is not going to have a chance to make a decision unless it is a fast one without having two Oregon Davis players trapping them somehow. Doing an excellent job at any point on the court trapping Bremen players.
Can't get it to fall. Well defended. Surrounded by 3 black jerseys was Emma Schmidt. Deep three-point attempt. Rebound collected once again by Bremen. Defense stifling under the basket. Driving to the up and in. Kaylin Shipley. Rebounds have been hard to come by for Bremen. OD has been absolutely dominant in the paint.
Yes,
2 or 3 at least every single time. 2 or 3 black jerseys trying to block out. Underneath, up and over. That is Bianca Radke from three-point land.
3 for 3 on the night, shooting from the three-point line.
Under 3 minutes left. There's a whole lot of threes going around. OD leads by 20 points. 32-12 is the score here at Dale Cox Gymnasium. Andrea Brook calling for help. Well defended by Samantha Young, as well as Victoria Anderson for OD. And again, that defense just absolutely stifling.
Yes, it is.
Andrea Brook is 5'2", and she was well defended by 5'5" Anderson and 5'7" Samantha Young. In a game of reach and frame, sometimes that's all it takes, and she did need all the help she could get against an OD defense that has been absolutely phenomenal all night.
Yes, she did.
Misplayed pass, nearly out of bounds. Handled by Andrea Brook. Over to Hannah Rowe. Nearly took an extra step there. Kaylin Shipley up. Can't get it to fall. Rebound off the foot of Bianca Radke. Bremen will have another chance.
Wow.
Wes Radke calling for his team. You need to play defense. The score is 32-12 for those that haven't been there. And the defense underneath the bucket in the paint for OD has been absolutely dominant.
Yes, it has. Not allowing Bremen much penetration. And when it is, it's off a whole bunch of moving screens. And then Oregon Davis has the double team, which fails a little bit every once in a while.
Charge is the call.
Tetzloff's third foul will get her a seat on the bench for a while.
Number 10, Kaylin Shipley taking a hard charge for the team. She was assisted there by number 23, Andrea Brook. Brook's feet were moving. Shipley's were not, and that's where the call came from. Shipley on the other end. Try for 3, up. Rebound collected and pushed. Looked like a push from up here by number 31, Bianca Radke. By the way, it is out of bounds. Last touched by Kaylin Shipley for Bremen. Oregon Davis with the ball and a commanding lead. 1:34 left in the first half. They are up 32-12 over the Lions of Bremen High School. Block that time. Wrenched out of the hands. Dixlin Howard grabbed the ball right out of Bianca Radke's hands. I think that's the first steal that Radke has allowed all night.
I think you are 100% correct there. Have you ever seen a coach so fiery with a 20-point lead is my question now.
I don't believe so. Oregon Davis. Emma Schmidt can't get it to fall from three-point land. Dixlin Howard out to Shively. She will drive. Well defended by Young for Bremen. Bremen bucket good. Well defending for Oregon Davis. The lead is down to 18. 46 seconds left. Bremen absolutely refuses to go away. Samantha Young looks like she was just slinging it up there. It falls. 34-14 is the score. 35 seconds left till halftime.
And with that, all 5 of Oregon Davis starters have scored a basket. Only 3 players have scored for the Bremen Lions.
Shively taking her time, 20 seconds left on the clock. They want to take the last shot, go into halftime with a little bit of positive energy. They'll take anything they can get. 10 seconds left on the clock. Shively driving up, can't get it. Rebound collected. Oregon Davis will want to.
1 second.
At halftime, the score is 34-14. Bianca Radke nearly had a chance for it, but couldn't get it up court in time.
Yes.
Before the final shot. The TCU Bi-County Basketball Tournament has proven to be an important part of our community's history for more than 50 years, and Teachers Credit Union is proud to continue this partnership. This tournament and TCU share a common goal to emphasize the importance of education, teamwork, and empowering students to become our future leaders. The TCU Bi-County Tournament is not only about basketball, but about acknowledging the hard work, dedication, and commitment it takes to achieve great things. So secure your financial future, drop the right play by stopping by Teachers Credit Union, working to build a better community. Alongside our camera persons, Emily Wallace, our statisticians, Garrett Weil, and our color commentator tonight is Dennis Feitz. I'm Matthew Florian. Halftime in Game 5 of the Junior Varsity Women's Tournament here at Dale Cox Gymnasium. The score is 34-14. Oregon Davis, the Lady Bobcats, are leading the Lady Lions of Bremen High School. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, everyone. This is Dennis Fights, and I'm going to give you some stats right now. One minor thing I would have to say is turnovers were very even. Oregon Davis having 9 and Bremen having 10. Oregon Davis coming out with 5:30 remaining to start a shoot-around, and I don't know if I would have wanted to been in that locker room. Coach was very fiery halfway through the second until halftime because he wasn't happy with the defense with the 20-point lead. He seems a little calmer now talking at the stats table, but the scoring stats for the trailing Bremen Lions. Andrea Brook has 3 points, Emma Schmidt has 3 points, and Kaylin Shipley has 8 points, making up all 14 of Bremen's. And for Oregon Davis, Emma Hussman has 2, Victoria Anderson has 2, Samantha Young has 2, Lena Tesloff has 9, going 3 for 6 from the free throw line, and Brianna Radke being 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 3 for 3 from three-point range, and making 2 more shots inside. Has 17 points, half of Oregon Davis's score. One major thing I would have to say, though, is the rebounding has definitely been towards Oregon Davis, not allowing many second chances for Bremen, making a play very hard for the Bremen Lions at this moment. They have got some second chance opportunities on offense, but they have been shooting well enough they haven't needed as many. They do have one player in foul trouble, being Lena Tesloff with 3 fouls. And for Bremen, Andrea Garcia has 3 fouls. She was a nice part in the game against the Lancers. So with these 2 players having foul trouble, it could affect each of their teams. Oregon Davis only having the 1 sub. That could be a huge factor later on for tiring out, but they seem like a very athletic bunch for the Oregon Davis Bobcats. Everybody seems well rested, shooting around, having some fun for Oregon Davis. I see a couple smiles. I don't think they would be looking at Coach doing that, but Bremen is having a long talking to right now, just probably trying to set up some plays and other things for the second half, because Oregon Davis shut down everything and did a great job double teaming on defense most of the time. The double teaming did lead to a couple looks inside where Shively made 4 inside shots from about 10 feet and closer, 2 of them being layups. Also, Brook and Schmidt both made a layup inside due to the double team. Bremen has not made a 3-point shot yet, though. I will ask Mr. Florian what his thoughts are at the current moment of how both teams are doing.
I think it's telling at the moment that Oregon Davis came out and started doing their shoot-around with 5 minutes left in halftime. You know, I think they're very calm. They're very composed. And I'll say one thing. Coach Wes Radke obviously does want as close to perfection out of his ladies as he can get, as does any good coach in this profession. But I think at the end of the day, when they are in their locker rooms, when, you know, halftime and after the game tonight, Oregon Davis, if the trend of the first half continues into the second half, I think Oregon Davis will be able to say, we're doing pretty good. We're doing all right, I think.
Yes. And if they can continue for the next 16 minutes what they did the first 16 minutes, they will be in the championship against either the John Glenn Falcons or the Triton Trojans, correct?
I believe, let me double check, it will be the winner of, as I double check, looking at the wrong tournament, it will be the winner of the John Glenn New Prairie game currently in progress. New Prairie did beat Triton on Monday night 42-29. John Glenn beat Argus 45-10. We'll see actually if we can get Mr. Garrett Weil over to the auxiliary gym to see if we can get a score update from the other JV game tonight.
And with that, we will get ready for the third quarter to kick off. Everything seems to be going very good. Some Laville faithful have shown up wanting to see this game and wanting to get their whole Bi-County tournament time in as fans. even though LaVille only has one team still in the tournament, being the varsity boys, who did a very good job against Bremen.
Not quite true, actually. Not so fast, my friend.
A consolation game as well.
A consolation game for the Lady Lancers. That will be tomorrow night from the auxiliary gym. The Lancers women's varsity team will have the second of the two consolation games, not the way that Coach Duncan wanted her first game to go for the Lancers in her first experience in the Bi-County tournament as the Lady Lancer head coach.
I agree with you, but she did force overtime and did a great job.
Underneath pass, can't get the layup. Is Kaylin Shipley. Bremen with possession of the ball to begin this second half of play.
Hitting it over to Shipley off the mark.
Up and in, can't get it to fall. Bremen starts out on an 0 for 5 shooting run in this first few minutes of the third quarter here. They trail by 10. Almost smacked away, I should say, by Bianca Radke. Driving, here comes a shot from Andrea Brook off the mark. Rebound collected by Bremen again. Underneath to Dixlin Howard. She boots it back out. Andrea Brook at the top of the key there over to Kaylin Shipley.
Bremen having over a minute currently on this possession now.
Excellent,
getting a lot of rebounds.
Excellent ball movement by Bremen to get this second half started. Getting a score update from Garrett Weil for us. Right now, New Prairie and Glenn are playing in the auxiliary gym here at LaVille. At halftime, we'll get that score for you in a moment. Bremen to inbound the ball. Deep pass up for Bremen.
And
John Glenn all over the Cougars of New Prairie, as we're being told. The Lady Falcons lead the Lady Cougars 20-8 at halftime. We will get further score updates for you. First shot for Oregon Davis in the second half does fall. That is Bianca Radke adding to her stat line tonight.
yes,
And now a rebound. Defensive rebound stolen away, up and in, can't get it to fall. Again, can't get it to fall. There's probably about 6 or 7 missed shots at least this half for Bremen. Foul that time. Samantha Young for Oregon Davis will go to the line. She was a little bit gimpy coming off that shot. She took a hard drive into the pad on the wall behind the basket. Looked like she was a little bit limpy. We'll see if that turns into anything. Her shot is good. 39-14 is the score. 4 minutes 50 seconds in the third quarter.
may have been a little bit of a frustration foul there by Brooke after getting beat after the Bremen turnover.
Bremen, even though they've got a deep bench, cannot afford frustration at this point. Underneath, Kaylin Shipley up and can't get it to fall. Bremen still scoreless in the second half. They've had at least
10 shots.
10 shots that have been off the mark. Up, can't get it to fall. Bianca Radke up again. Fouled. She will go to the line. Foul trouble was a bit of an issue earlier in the first half for Bremen. That'll be the 4th foul collected by Andrea Garcia. Not what Coach Alex Robinson wants from his Bremen Lady Lions.
No, it isn't. Bianco just missed her first free throw of the night there. Very uncharacteristic of her, still shooting 80% from the free throw line.
Ashley Jeffers in for Bremen. Andrea Garcia with 4 fouls will take a seat on the bench. Radke does get her second shot and immediately is back on defense. Radke's running a one-woman full court press. She's doing a pretty phenomenal job
Yes, she
all by
is.
herself as well. Bremen with control of the ball. Bremen in white and green. Oregon Davis in black and red tonight. Bremen is the hosting team on the bracket. Hard pass brought down by Bianca Radke underneath. Up and in. Samantha Young adding to a lead that is already momentous. Bremen head coach Alex Robinson wants to have a word with his Lady Lions. It will be a full timeout. Bremen, they trail big. The score is 42-14, 3:39 left in the third quarter. Dennis, it's been, how else can you describe it other than dominant by Oregon Davis than the Lady Bobcats?
Oregon Davis has dominated all assets of the game other than turnovers, which the teams are even on. Oregon Davis is on an 8-0 run to start off this third quarter. Bianca Radke having 3 points, a free throw and a layup, and Samantha Young having 2 layups and a free throw attempt made. I can't really say much bad about Oregon Davis at all. They've been making their free throws most of the time. That would probably be their one problem area, other than they do frustrate their coach a little, who demands perfection and will take nothing less. And Bremen is just having a little trouble. Andrea Garcia having those 4 fouls really doesn't help her coach out. But he needs to look for easier looks inside as Samantha Young takes a little bit of a tumble there. Just looks like she tripped over her own feet. Moving the ball forward for Bremen is Andrea Brook. Bremen looking to get inside to make a nice little basket.
Any points at this point for Bremen, they are, I think, 1 for 11 or more this half.
0 for 11.
I thought they had at least 1 layup.
No, not this half.
Foul, that'll be I believe, a non-shooting foul. It will be against Oregon Davis. Hard-fought defense on both sides. Bremen won't go away, slowly getting outplayed by a dominant, physical, and very athletic Oregon Davis team. Didn't see who the foul was on, and it didn't go up on the
Young's
scoreboard.
First foul.
Samantha Young's first. Very good. Thank you very much, sir.
I have your back.
Over, up, and airballed Andrea Brook. Rebound collected by Bianca Radke, getting it all done for the Lady Bobcats. Underneath, Samantha Young, well defended. Can't get it to fall, though. Bounces up and out. Samantha Young, a 5'7" sophomore, well defended there by Ashley Jeffers, a 5'1" freshman. And Jeffers doing everything she can to impede Samantha Young's shot, short of fouling her. Good, clean defense against pretty statuesque player. I mean, that's I think one of the most courageous things. I was never a basketball player in my youthful days, such as they were. But I think that, that just says something about Bremen and the type of player they have and the type of coach that Alex Robinson is.
Yes, it does.
They aren't afraid to get up into the face of Oregon Davis. Good, clean defense, even against a very athletic team. Up and in, that's Lena Tetzloff. Just a moment ago, that was Kaylin Shipley on the other end for
Shipley
Bremen.
has 10 points now.
10 of the 16 points for Bremen have come from Shipley. The score is 44-16, 2 minutes in the third.
Oregon Davis did a very good job of shutting down Shipley in the first half. She makes another way up there, having 12 of Bremen's 18 points. Bremen, to have a chance, needs to find a second scorer. Very hard when you have one leading scorer with that many points, trailing by a substantial margin as they are.
Kaylin Shipley once again, 12 points for Bremen. Underneath, nearly lost out of bounds by Lena Tetzloff. Defended, very well defended underneath by Jeffers and Shipley for Bremen. Go ahead, Dennis.
Doing a very good job still on defense is Oregon Davis, but another foul committed here, their second of the half.
See if that'll be against Emma Hussman, her second, team's second. I think that's one interesting thing we've seen. Oregon Davis has shifted a little bit. They aren't being as aggressive with rebounds as Kaylin Shipley goes to the line. First of 2-point shots is a little bit short. Oregon Davis, at least on the offensive rebounds, or I'm sorry, on the defensive rebounds, they've been a little bit more relaxed. They haven't been pushing and blocking out as much.
I think when they had their meeting with their coach at halftime, he noticed he was being a little harsh on them and might have told them just, relax through this game if you guys can stay ahead at the comfortable margin and be ready for the next game later on this week.
Deep 2-point shot for Bianca Radke. Check that. That's Emma Hussman getting it done for the Bobcats. The lead is 46-21, under 45 seconds left. 3-point shot for Bremen. Off the mark is Andrea Brooke. Rebound. Travel. Samantha Young comes down with it. Wes Radke wanted a jump ball called, but good hard defense by Bremen. It will remain possession. Lady Lions into the corner. Andrea Brooke. Oh, can't get it to fall. Rattles just about every single point on the rim without falling. Tough 3-point shot.
36.4 remaining in the third quarter.
Bianca Radke will take the inbound pass. She's played just about every single minute of this game. Steal there, knocked away. Shipley collects it. 24 seconds left to try and score in the third quarter.
I believe the only person to sub in and out for Oregon Davis is their sub, Camille Saylor, and Lena Tesloff having those 3 fouls, being in that trouble.
Smacked away. Bremen believed it should have been a foul, and from where it looked like it could have been going either way.
Yes.
Slow to get up is Kaylin Shipley.
I think Radke landed on her ankle there on accident. I think she's just tying her shoe now, getting a little time. Looks like she's okay.
7.9 seconds left in the third quarter. Radke to inbound it up underneath. That'll be Lena Tetzloff going to the line, shooting a pair. Foul coming against Kaylin Shipley, her second, team's third of the half. I think it's not difficult to understand where Coach Wes Radke's perfection comes from his Oregon Davis team as Tetzloff's first shot falls. Obviously, he's got to get ready for these young ladies. I mean, the implication is that once they hit varsity level, they'll be playing for what is now the number 9 team in the state of Indiana. I mean, you talk about Hoosier hysteria. It's alive and well at Oregon Davis.
Is. That is a very impressive statistic. And what is their record for the year?
For the year, Oregon Davis stands at 16-2, and I know as the third period ends, Oregon Davis leads 48-21 over the Lady Lions of Bremen. This is the Game 5 of the 51st annual TCU Bi-County Junior Varsity Women's Tournament. And as I was saying, Dennis, I know that right now, and I'll pull up the Oregon Davis varsity stats. We'll see them on Friday here at Dale Cox Gymnasium, or I'm sorry, tomorrow, Thursday, here at Dale Cox Gymnasium.
Yes.
We'll double check some statistics from Garrett Weil if we could. He's been doing a fantastic job. Our camera person is Emily Wallace for us this evening. Dennis Fights alongside myself. Myself is Matthew Florian. Please, you could join us here on LVH1. The voice of the Lancers, and this week, the voice of the 51st annual TCU Bi-County Tournament.
Bremen grew their lead there by 7 points, and Bremen still has their leading scorer, is Shively. She has 13 points, doing a very solid job shooting for Bremen, doing a great job all around. She has 1 steal and 3 rebounds. And Oregon Davis' scoring is still very spread out. The 2 leading scorers are Lena Tesloff. She has 13 points. And Radke has a boatload of points. I can't add them up right now, having to give back the stat sheet, but she is the leading scorer of the game.
Kaylin Shively looking for help underneath, getting boxed out. Dominated that defense. 13, that'll be Lexi Miller. Three-point shot does not fall. Oregon Davis coming the other way. They have a big lead, but Coach Wes Radke isn't satisfied yet. Layup is good. The lead is 50-21 for Oregon Davis.
Very good looking Oregon Davis team right now. Maybe going to waste some time, but they are still pushing the gas pedal, wanting to win all 4 quarters of the game decisively.
Just taking a look at the Oregon Davis varsity women's team, who we will see here at Dale Cox Gymnasium tomorrow. They will come into this game with a 17-2 record. Their 2 losses, both, I'm not sure that's correct because it says both of those games, well, maybe. Both games played on December 22nd this year. First was at Roncalli in Indianapolis. The second was at Lawrence North in Indianapolis. For those that don't know, Roncalli, the women's varsity team, is number 8 in the state of Indiana and number 96 in the country. And Lawrence North, who beat Oregon Davis 69-55, is number 1 in the state and number 13 in the United States. So
very impressive.
There's no such thing as a good loss from any coach, but I'll tell you, that's a pretty impressive game to have played.
Yes.
Oregon Davis, number 1 in the state for 2A, number 26 overall.
Wow.
So obviously, Wes Radke looking for perfection out of his ladies, not because of who they're playing, perhaps, obviously wanting to do well every single game, but also as Bianca Radke picks up another.
Teslov scored that one.
Pardon me. I'm not sure if that was 31 or 51.
I know they are very fast moving, always hard to tell. Andrea Brook also scored a 2-point shot for Bremen, while you were giving some statistics about Oregon Davis being very impressive this season.
3-point shot coming, airballed by Bianca Radke. Rebound collected. That was a missed travel in this humble broadcaster's opinion by Lena Tetzloff. She has the ball, driving hard, well defended by Bremen, but boxed out.
Good jump stop there before the shot.
Yeah. Andrea Brook was boxed out absolutely effectively by Victoria Anderson for OD. OD has a 56-23 lead. They've doubled up Bremen. A foul coming. Tough foul.
Yes, it was. That'll be Shiley's third.
Bianca Radke coming up in a little bit of pain. Looks like her left knee. They will call a timeout. She will get a look from the trainers. I think it's on. It was a defensive play. I think it may have been a little bit tight, but I don't think that was a malicious or a flagrant foul in the least. It was not called as such, but
it didn't look like it. It was just hard playing basketball. Neither team giving up.
Legs getting tangled up, and unfortunately, Radke got
the worst end of that.
Worst end of that, absolutely.
It wouldn't surprise me if Saylor came in for her just to give her a rest. She's been playing the whole game excellently. Having that little bump on her knee, if it bothers her, I wouldn't surprise me having the 23-point lead with 4:08 remaining, her taking a little break and just watching her team cheering on, being a great teammate. Tesloff has really been on a scoring run now, scoring 8 points this quarter, being on fire.
One of the interesting things I think we've mentioned throughout the first half is that we were thinking there would be a great deal of subs in and out. We haven't seen many from Bremen throughout the majority of the third quarter and the first nearly 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's 4:08 left in this game. 56-23 is the score. The Lady Lions of Bremen High School trail the Lady Bobcats of Oregon Davis.
Yes.
They've been doubled up by a very dominant Oregon Davis 6. 6 players on the roster. Here comes Bremen's first sub in, I think, this second half.
Yes, it is. Actually, no, second sub. They
Second
had
sub,
Garcia in start,
That's
and
right.
she picked up her 4th foul. So
Garcia is sitting. They could use her out on the floor, but with 4 fouls, Coach Alex Robinson does not want to risk it. Inbound collected by Lena Tetzloff, fouled on the floor, non-shooting foul. That will be the 4th foul for Bremen. It will go against number 13, Lexi Miller, her 2nd.
Team's 5th. It happens.
Underneath, Lena Tetzloff up, rebound, eventually stolen away by Tori Orr.
She didn't want to jump ball, so she was trying to get it to her teammate because she knows the jump ball possession is in Bremen's favor.
Off the mark, brought down and controlled by Tori Orr, stolen away by Bianca Radke. Coach Wes Radke driving his team. Bianca will be fouled on the way up. That'll be number 13, Lexi Miller, I believe, on the foul.
I think it is.
Shooting foul, so Radke will go to the line, shoot a pair for Oregon Davis.
Miller's 2nd in the last 15 seconds.
A little bit short, high arcing shot. Score stands at 56-23, 3:38 left in this game 5 of the women's TCU Bi-County Junior Varsity Tournament. Rattles around and falls, 57-23. Oregon Davis all over Bremen in this junior varsity action tonight.
Very impressive defense played by Oregon Davis, still double teaming, doing everything they can to prevent Bremen from scoring, even though Bremen's only scored 2 points this quarter.
Hard drive by Shively, over to Olivia Kelty. Beautiful layup, beautiful
From the elbow.
There you go. Beautiful fadeaway shot.
Ref trying to pick up the hairband there.
Sub will be coming in for Oregon Davis. Jump ball is the call.
Good call there.
That'll be Camrielle Saylor coming in.
Giving Anderson a break.
You look at this Oregon Davis team on the field, Dennis, or on the court, I should say, and it's kind of hard to believe that the majority of these ladies have been playing now for nearly the entire game.
Yes, 3 of the players have not been subbed out, being Hussman, Radke, and Young. And they are still very well energized.
Kaylin Shipley can't get her layup to fall. Hits just about every part of the rim it can without getting through the net. Rebound collected by Shively. That was Emma Hussman off the mark and smacked away by number 53, Samantha Young.
Good hustle getting back down the court. She was a couple steps behind until the pass, and then she made that little last-second effort and got it to go out of bounds.
Desperation heave by Andrea Brook. Rebound collected. That'll be Olivia Kelty off the mark. Smacked back inbounds. Up and fouled. Andrea Brook. She will collect the foul.
And got the basket.
Wes Radke, once again, his team is up.
Yes.
Big. 57-25 is the score. 2:06 left in the game.
27,
pardon me. They just updated that. 30, now a 29-point lead, but Wes Radke, as we've seen, demands perfection from his team each and every possession.
Yes.
Deep pass, gonna be run down. Last touched by Lexi Miller for Bremen. It will be Oregon Davis ball. 2:01 left in the game.
Both teams are still trying to get everything they can. Oregon Davis is not going to quit trying to get more points, and Bremen is going to try to do everything they can to put some more up as well.
Andrea Brook will pick up her 3rd, team's 7th. To the line for Oregon Davis, number 51, Lena Tetzloff. First shot off the mark. Second shot coming.
Tetzloff is 5 for 10 on the night, shooting from the free throw line, being 50%.
Under 2 minutes left. Mishandled pass. A little bit too much mustard on that one from Andrea Brooke. Can't connect to Kaylin Shipley.
Turnovers are still very even. Bremen having 17, Oregon Davis having 16.
Ashley Jeffers coming in. She has 4 fouls, I believe, still. No, check that. That was Garcia.
Garcia has 4.
Pardon me. Looking at my stat sheet here. Lena Tetzloff driving over to Bianca Radke. Up and fouled. And with 1:40 left, we can all but assume it will be Oregon Davis advancing to the final, the Junior Varsity Women's Championship game, which will be noon on Saturday here at LaVille, Dale Cox Gymnasium, and broadcast live on LVH1 for all our viewers. Sub coming in for Bremen, number 14, Hannah Rowe, and number 11, Zoe Hoke, in for the Lady Lions. 1:40 left, and now for Bremen comes in, or check that, for Oregon Davis, Victoria Anderson. She will send Samantha Young to the bench. Young does not need a rest, but
Coach wants her to, and Oregon Davis's coach with 1:40 finally smiles in this game, knowing that it is out of reach of Bremen.
He won't sit down, though. Air ball.
No, he will not.
By Hannah Rowe. Out of bounds. Last touched by Bremen. And 1:23. And, you know, you have to give credit to this Bremen junior varsity team going up against what is an absolutely dominant Oregon Davis Lady Bobcat team. Underneath feed to Lena Tetzloff is good. Score is now 61-28. Just over a minute left in the game. Oregon Davis will advance.
Yes.
But Bremen, I think, you know, you have to feel good if you are Coach Alex Robinson. This was a tough game right from the beginning, and Bremen absolutely hung with an Oregon Davis team whose athleticism is just
incredible.
We can't say enough superlatives about it, just because, I mean, these ladies have been on the floor and all over the floor just about the entire game.
Yes.
All 6 players on the roster for Oregon Davis have seen extensive playing time tonight. 35 seconds left. Bremen, Zoe Hoke driving over to Hannah Rowe. Rowe looking for a shot. Defense for Oregon Davis not letting up in the last 25 seconds of the game.
No,
Andrea Brooke.
It is just still fast-paced. Both teams are not giving up anything.
Oregon Davis head coach Wes Radke may not be sitting down and may be smiling a bit, but still wanting performance and perfection from his ladies. Foul with 10.8 seconds left on the clock. That'll be number 23, Andrea Brooke, her 4th. Substitution coming in. Emma Schmidt will send Brooke to the line to watch the last 10 seconds of the game from the bench. We hope you'll stay tuned for the second game in our doubleheader tonight. It's the Junior Varsity Men's Tournament's 5th game. Oregon Davis will once again face Bremen. Foul called.
That will be Schmidt's second foul. With 4.2 remaining, it is definitely over. Good games played by both teams, though. Bremen probably expecting a hard game entering this with a young coach off the mark. I believe a Bremen player moved early, so she will get to shoot. Oh, my apologies. She got an extra one. I'm not exactly sure why. Having that, oh, never mind, that was Bremen's 10th foul. My apologies. I thought that was their 9th.
That was 10. They're into 2-shot foul time. Bremen will take it up court. Half court heave off the mark. That's number 24 for Bremen. Ashley Jeffers with the last chance.
Very impressive game by both teams, especially Oregon Davis. My apologies.
The final score in tonight's Game 5, the semifinal game of the Women's Junior Varsity Tournament. Oregon Davis beats Bremen 64 to 28. We hope you'll stick around for the second of our doubleheader tonight. It's junior varsity action on tap for us here at Dale Cox Gymnasium alongside our camera person, Emily Wallace, our statistician, Garrett Weil, who is running to get updated scores on the conclusion of the John Glenn New Prairie game next door in the auxiliary gym. My name's Matthew Florian, so pleased you could join us here at Dale Cox Gymnasium. We will check in with the score from next door. We'll take a look at our stats, and we'll keep it right here, and we hope you'll do the same. 20 minutes from tip-off in the second of tonight's TCU Bi-County Tournament games.
First with our stats for the losing Bremen Lions. Olivia Keltley had 2 points. Emma Schmidt had 3 points. Andrea Brook had 8 points. And Bremen's leading scorer, being Kaylin Shipley, had 15 points. Doing a great job leading Bremen, just not enough against an outstanding Oregon Davis roster, who had all 5 starters score, and Camille Saylor could not get a basket but played very crucial time for Oregon Davis. Victoria Anderson had 2 points. Emma Hussman had 4 points. Samantha Young had 8 points. One moment, folks. Both Bianca Radke and Alina Tesloff had a lot of points for their teams respectively. I will give you Tesloff's first, but she may have passed Radke in points. I am double checking that right now. Tesloff had 23 points. Very high scoring game for her. And for Bianca Radke, 25 points. Just a couple more. Very good by both teams. Big highlight, standout thing would be Oregon Davis girls rebounding, winning the game for them. That was very impressive in my eyes. The turnovers were very even. Oregon Davis making 18, Bremen making 19. Good games by both teams. And I will send it over to Mr. Florian with the score update from John Glenn and New Prairie.
Well, I'll put on my radio voice. Well, a funny thing happened on the way over to the Aux Gym. So the game is already concluded. Garrett Weil was not able to get a score update before the scoreboard on that side shut down and reset for the next of their doubleheader over there in the Aux Gym. It will be John Glenn taking on Triton in the boys junior varsity tournament. We'll try and get a score update, a final score from the John Glenn New Prairie game in the women's junior varsity tournament in a little bit.
Hopefully Mr. Cox announces that very soon. I know he's messing around with his book over there in stats. I believe that is all I can say about the game. Any thoughts for you, Mr. Florian?
Dominant performance by the Oregon Davis junior varsity ladies tonight. A lot of promise at a program that already has a great deal of promise and a great deal of athleticism. We will look for those ladies to make a huge impact on Hoosier women's basketball in the years to come. That concludes tonight's coverage of our first game in our doubleheader tonight. Once again, your final score from Dale Cox Gymnasium. Game 5 of the TCU annual Bi-County Tournament, Junior Varsity Girls Tournament. Oregon Davis beats Bremen 64 to 29, your final score. Coming up next in our doubleheader, the 51st annual Teachers Credit Union Bi-County Men's Junior Varsity Tournament. Bremen will face Oregon Davis. Bremen will once again be the visitor team on the bracket. Oregon Davis will be hosting. We will have that game up and live in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us for this first in our doubleheader. We'll be back in a moment. For camera person Emily Wallace, statistician Garrett Weil, my color man Dennis Feitz, I'm Matthew Florian. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back momentarily on LVH1, the voice of the Lancers, and the 51st annual.
One quick very moment. Final on the Glenn New Prairie game. John Glenn won 47 to 14.
There we go.
So we know that John Glenn will meet Oregon Davis for a second time this season. Oregon Davis having a very decisive win earlier this season. Good luck to both teams, and I will hope to see them Saturday at noon.
We will be back in just a few minutes here on LVH1, the voice of the Lancers and the 51st annual TCU Bi-County Tournament.